What's going on, guys? So it is June 24th and we were pursuing that one property that we mentioned in the last video, and things are going well. Financials checked out, everything was going well, but we didn't get it. And here's the deal. So the guy called me. I wish he would have called me a little bit earlier, and that's the problem with all this stuff, is it's so much waiting and waiting, and then it's a no, and then it's back to the process, and it's waiting and waiting. And basically it's a couple people that own the property that we were looking at, and the majority of them don't want any kind of business that is dependent on disposable income, meaning businesses that rely on income that people only spend that's extra. It's not essential to their living. For example, entertainment, for example, is like it's based off disposable income that people make extra, after they cover shelter, food, water, things like that they need to survive and live, car, auto, things like that. So, like a movie theater is based off disposable income. A gym is usually extra money that people have that if, worst comes to worst, like a recession, which is their whole excuse, they feel like that's the first thing people are gonna cut out of their budget. So they don't want any business like that. We are included in that, unfortunately. So the search continues, but looking at a property right now, about to call them, and then also call this one guy that can hopefully help us find a property that can fit our needs, that doesn't have complications and such. Because even if we know that we're in a good financial spot, recession or not, what is our word worth again? So the search continues, but I thought I had to update y'all. I was very bummed, what was it, 2 days ago when I heard. Thought about turning on the camera, probably should have, but it's tough, it's tough. Definitely more millennials, because the people we're targeting aren't going to be the families that are going towards an AmFam. Yeah, we got equipment ready to go. There's obviously some we need to purchase because trying to store all the equipment right now as in a storage unit is kind of absurd, but we're ready to go whenever we can find a property. All right, it is July 7th, and I thought I'd update you guys since it has been about a week and a half since me and Pete, our broker, originally spoke. And so he sent over 2 properties about a week ago, and we've kind of been going back and forth trying to figure out, A, will they do some construction or breaking down some walls within the property, and B, like figuring out the rate, can we negotiate and all that. So I'll show you the 2 kind of that we're working with and the issues or solutions that we've come up with. So here's the first one that is more within our budget, but the problem is, if you look at the floor plan, so it's 4,200 square foot, and based off what we've toured in the past, if half the place is basically the warehouse, only 2,000 square foot, it's gonna be very, very small. So what we'd like to do is these 2 new offices, break those down, break this wall right here, and then have basically 2/3 of the place be the warehouse space for the gym, and that will work a lot better. There's 2 offices and bathrooms down there. That would probably work. But we are trying to see if they are willing to do that, since it will be a cost on their end. But it's generally the same size as the place we were trying to get a few weeks back, and it's a little bit closer, a little bit better parking, and then in a better area. So honestly, it's like what we were trying to get before, but a couple issues solved. But we're still trying to, again, figure out whether they are willing to break down the wall or not. Apparently they did that for the last tenant and put the walls up, so they'd basically be breaking down what they just did. So we will see. This other property is a lot more expensive. However, it's larger, it's fully air conditioned, it's got a lot more benefits to it, and we wouldn't need to break down as much. So this property right here, it's got 3 garage doors. Like I said, it's fully AC, it's a little bit larger. It's still about like 15 minutes away. So they have a lot of stuff already in here that we would just kind of tear out. It was used for like a classroom mixed with like, I guess, auto stuff. And so we tear all that out. And here's kind of like the floor plan. So we'd obviously clear all this junk out. There's a wall here, wall there. And honestly, I don't mind keeping those walls, but this wall I'd like to break down if possible. So we have a long stretch here, area over here, and this whole basically spot can be the gym. We have our offices down this way. But if they can't break down that wall, it's not the end of the world. But the bigger deal is trying to break down the rate, because the rate would be very, very expensive. So we're trying to see if we can kind of push it in a more reasonable spot where we can actually consider this property. So thought I'd update y'all on 2 options. Of course, we're exploring others as well, but those are in the works, and this lease stuff is tough. It's not as simple as you'd expect, or at least as I expected. I just thought, like, I don't know, it's me being naive in a way, but I was like, okay, if I have the money and they want a tenant, especially in times like right now where, you know, businesses are failing, they need to kind of fill in those spots and keep money coming in. If I have the money, wouldn't you take my money if I'm committing to paying it? Seems pretty simple and straightforward, but it's not. So we're continuing on, and hopefully some good news coming up soon. What's going on, guys? So it is July 13th, and we are going to check on the equipment we got a couple of videos ago, like 2 months now. It feels like forever, but we haven't checked on it since we put it in the U-Haul storage. So we're going to check in on it, making sure it's there and it looks good and nothing's messed up. But just, you know, look at it and also update you a little bit on property searches. So as you saw in the recent clips, we were looking at those 2 properties, one of which, actually the bigger one that I think I mentioned we weren't going to go for because it was going to be too pricey. They are open to a more aggressive pricing, meaning they're open to the range that we're requesting. So hopefully that goes well. We toured it. We met with the agent that's representing the landlord, and things went pretty well. We're explaining what we need to you know, do as far as demolition and breaking down walls within the property and everything. And we submitted a LOI, which is just kind of explaining the terms, price, any kind of contingencies we might have, the term and things like that we're requesting. Basically, it's a formal offer. We submitted that, and hopefully we hear back either today or soon on their they'll probably have a counter offer, and we'll go back and forth. But we're kind of in a negotiation process. Hopefully we get what we want, obviously, but we will see. So anyway, I just wanted to update y'all on that situation, and also give y'all a little look at the equipment once we get there, because I do miss it. I almost forget about it. You gotta slide this.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Look how clean it looks.
It does look clean.
I forgot
Cleaner than
how
I
nice
remember.
they are.
Oh.
Oh,
This
yeah.
actually gives everyone a better look at everything. Actually, we'll walk them through a little bit.
Yeah.
So, because we didn't show fully each machine we got. So tell them what we got, Maddie.
Okay. No, I don't want to tell them.
We got a chest press machine. So a simple, it's actually an incline, I believe. Is it an incline chest press? Yes, incline chest press, hammer strength. We got a isolateral front lat pull down. So you're going to use that underhand grip on this hammer strength as well. We got this pre-core leg press.
This is so nice too. Like, we don't even have to paint some of this.
Yeah, I like the black on there. This one I'm really excited about. This is the flat hammer strength chest press. Feels so good when you're using it. We got 2 with some nice footprints. Yeah, three adjustable benches, and these are super cushiony, but not like bad, comfy and squishy. They're nice, really nice actually. Beautiful pec deck, bunch of floor mats. We actually need to get more of those. What I want to do is put 2 more. We probably need to buy 4 and put them like 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can have the squat racks, because I'd like them to be.
Unless the flooring's really nice.
I know, but I'd rather squat. I don't know about you. I'd rather squat on floor than concrete. Not that this is bad, but
Yeah. I mean, I see what you mean.
yeah. But anyway, glad that we got to check on the machines and everything is great. It shouldn't have changed since we last were here, but just good to see it again, and I'm glad we got to show you all around. So a little update on the lease. We did hear back from the landlord and their agent, and they accepted most of our terms, except for the 2 big main points that we wanted to get done, which was a lower base rent and getting the kind of demolition work done on the landlord's dime and not ours. So of course we're going to have to negotiate a little bit further. After speaking with my agent, we're gonna kind of play it a little bit quiet the next few days, try and get a contractor out there and see what the pricing would be. Hopefully, you know, I have more information and better news coming up early next week, but we'll see. It is Friday, July 24th, and a decent time has passed since the last clip where I mentioned that they had agreed to most of our terms, but the 2 major points they did not. So in the meantime, we got a contractor there to take a look at the property, figure out what would it cost to demolish the walls and some of the structures inside that we wanted to do. And the quote was astronomical. The price was far exceeding what I even hoped on the high end. So we're switching plans a little bit. Maddie and I talked a lot more about, what we would need to do at this property to get it in shape if we kept the infrastructure and the floor plan as is. And we came to the conclusion that we can absolutely keep things as is, probably get more of our terms in the negotiation, and still make a killer gym. As long as we paint and space things out accordingly, it can still be a phenomenal gym. So that's what we're gonna roll with. We sent a revised LOI over this afternoon, so hopefully that gets looked over this weekend and we hear back from them early next week. It'll probably again be back and forth as far as the lease rate and other little fine details, but hopefully we get something done by this time next week and we can start making this gym a reality. But until then, we wait. Back again with another clip of me just sitting and talking to the camera, nothing flashy. This video is a little bit dragged out and a lot of me just talking to the camera, but there's important updates to be made. And today is Tuesday, July 28th. We sent in our LOI, like I mentioned in the last clip, Friday, waiting. Hopefully we get something back this afternoon. I've been communicating with our agent and we should hopefully get something this afternoon. Hopefully it's something that is agreed upon too, so it's not any more back and forth and back and forth. But hopefully it's something we can just agree, sign, and move forward with the next steps. But I wanted to tell you guys two things that we bought. In the meantime, we got a flat bench right here. We got two of these actually. And the reason I went with these is because if you notice, the padding is a little bit wider. And that is so important for bench pressing, especially if you have any kind of wider back. I'm not the biggest guy, but I'll tell you, when I use like a thin bench press, I mean, you're sliding off, you don't feel as balanced. I've used the Hammer Strength ones before. The pegs are good, they're sturdy, they look good, they perform well. Got two of those, so those would be nice for the gym. So I bought those from Steve back at Super Fitness, if you remember from a couple videos ago. Great guy. He's also looking for a leg curl and leg extension for me, so waiting to find those and purchase those. And again, all of that will be shipped from North Carolina up towards our gym once we just get something freaking signed. But patience. But I wanted to update you guys, let you know what we bought, take you along the process as this whole kind of vlog and series is about. And yeah, hopefully we get some good news later this afternoon. Hopefully the light isn't too harsh on my face, although it most likely is, but just got a text from our agent and they sent us an email, and basically instead of the tenant allowance of $3,000, so $3,000 basically from the landlord to help us renovate like the floors and things like that, they want to just give us another free month on the lease. So they're drafting us a lease because that's absolutely fine with us. So they're drafting us a lease. I'm super excited. I want something done by the end of the week. And just to get this whole process over with. Let's get this freaking gym going. Let's build this out. It's been a long fight. Go tell Maddie the good news, and hopefully I have more news for y'all in a little bit.